Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Hello, and welcome to hanging out with me on Monday for our live chats. Just let me get my music set up. You guys are the best. Hold on a second. I see the chat already. Hi, Jesse. Hi, Mr. Pike. Hello, hello. Let's see. Apparently, I'm waiting. I will absolutely talk to myself. Thank you. Looks like I got to keep talking to myself. Hi, waiting. I am Pike. Hello, hello, hello. Thankfully, this is always on before my day starts. Yes, rest. I don't know that person. Oh my God, I am so tired. Let me tell you all about it. But let's get some. Let's see. Where I like this little like Y2K playlist that it's been happening. Hi Ken, how are you? Let me see. So, okay, I put on the Y2K. Let's see if I can get this going here and just play some. There we go. Just some little musics. Get us started in our daytime. Hello, Lucky. Hello, welcome to Monday. Okay, so just a quick refresher. I will not be streaming on Wednesday because we go for an MRI tomorrow and then we go to oncology on Wednesday. So it's going to be a rough week for us. Hi, Medell. How are you? Sausage, hash brown, eggs, and cheese breakfast burritos. Let's see. Still here. Oh my goodness. Okay. Greetings, Charles. John Charles. Hi. How are you? So today's definitely going to be more casual than it usually is. I've had a long weekend. We drove 6 hours. 6 hours? About 6.5 hours to go be with family. It was my husband's grandmother's 90th birthday. So we went and spent time with his entire family and did that. And it was fantastic. And so the reason that it was so fantastic, like, obviously you're with family that you don't get to see all the time, but this particular family has such an amazing understanding for kids with special needs. So my husband's aunt had 2 children and then went to go on to adopt 5 more children. And within those 5 children, one of them is touched severely by fetal alcohol syndrome. So they've had this son, forever since he was born. And his aunt has gone on to do a ton of stuff for fetal alcohol syndrome. So she just has such a wonderful understanding of kids with different needs. And then a lot of the families in the subgroups, because there were a lot of just different families there, all have an amazing understanding of kids with different needs. So we didn't have to watch my son as closely as we do, because you just get people who aren't used to those behaviors, and they look at him or they look at you or whatever, and you try to just be on top of your kid as much as possible. And here we were able, my son, we put my Apple Watch on him, and my son was shirtless and shoeless and dirty the whole weekend, running through the woods, getting full of mud. He came up to the deck one night at 8 o'clock at night, just had mud smeared on his face. He looked like Rambo. It was amazing. He was living his best life. Let's see, what do we got? Good music. Lots of luck on the MRI. So tomorrow, what we're doing is my daughter will have her 6th. She's 5. She'll have her 6th MRI. And she has a spot. If I can ever crop them, I'll put them in the Discord. But she has a particular spot in the dead center of her brain. So we're trying to A, figure out what that is, but B, figure out, essentially how it's moving and what it's doing. We've run through neurology. We've run through rheumatology. We've run through, every real center, I guess, of doctors. And now we've moved on to oncology. So we're working with a pediatric oncologist, which we'll see on Wednesday. And we'll go from there. I'll keep you guys posted. MRI days are never easy for us as parents because my daughter now has severe medical trauma. So you just have to prepare to kind of go through that with your baby, and it's devastating. It's awful, and I hate it. So, let's see. Sending love your way, Medell. Yes. What's going on? Oh no, dealing with frozen shoulders for 5 months. No. Your son is like the kids I work with every day. Yeah. Yeah, being a real boy. He's just out. He's a nature boy, man. He's just a little nature boy. Woo! When I married my third husband, I had 5 children, and my husband had 5 children. It was hard raising 10. You're doing the Lord's work. I have trouble raising 2, okay? But yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, everybody hates it. Nobody wants to see their kid go through this stuff. We just thought it would be over within the first year, and it wasn't. So to give you guys a little backstory, I woke up one day and my daughter's eye, you're a great example of what it means to be a good mama. Jumping Fox is here. Everybody protect yourself, for she brings the clap. Hey, from India. I'm from America. Stay strong. Thank you. So to give you guys a backup, I wish I could like insert pictures, but I don't have my Mac. Okay. So I woke up one day and my daughter's eye is just dead. It was not working. It was down to the right. The eyelid was down, and my mother-in-law was here, and I was like, I think I need to go to the emergency room. And she goes, what do you mean? Because I was actually getting ready to take my son to his field trip. I was going on his field trip to be a chaperone, and I was getting ready, and my daughter comes out of her room. She goes, hi, Mom. And I turn, and I was like, what is that? And if you guys want the full story, I actually have a long form video about the whole thing. So she comes up to me and I'm like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, why? And her eye is just completely off. It will not it will not track. It will not blink. It will not move. I was like, well, that's odd. So I tell my mother-in-law, because she was here, to watch her so that I could go on this field trip with my son. And I said, I think I got to go to the ER. And she goes, what do you mean? And I said, well, why don't you come here? And she came over by me, and I said, do you see that? And she goes, oh my God. And I go, okay, so we're on the same page here. If we're on the same page. So, oh, my fingers, I ripped all my nails off. I'm so sorry. I just ripped them off today. Hi, Eric. So I was videotaping her eye and taking pictures of it, because I was like, I'll be damned if I get to the hospital and this shit works. Like, it's going to make me feel crazy. No, it's not an Israeli tattoo on my neck. No. So I pack her up in the car, and don't worry, Medell, we'll get there. Is it like a stroke? So it presents like a stroke. It presented like a stroke, which I didn't know at the time. So I get her in the car, and I take her to the hospital, and I have her, and she's, buried in my chest. She's very shy. And when I get in there, the guy's like, what are you here for? And I'm like, my daughter's eye isn't tracking. And he goes, what do you mean her eye isn't tracking? And I go, it's not moving. Now, mind you, this is like 6:30 in the morning. And he goes, I need you to be a little bit more specific. What do you mean it's not moving? And I turn around so he can see my daughter's face. And he goes, oh. And I go, yeah. And he was like, okay, you're going to come with me right now. So he like rushes me to the back, and we see a bunch of nurses, and the doctors come in, and immediately they tell me that they're like, we can't treat you here. We don't have what you need. You're going to have to go see some pediatric specialists. We're going to send you to go see a pediatric neurologist. We're going to do the tests that we can until we can get a transport ambulance, but we have to get you out of here immediately. And I was like, okay, like, should I call my husband? Like, and this one nurse came up to me, and she held me, and she goes, honey, if I were you, I would call your husband. And I was like, okay. Like, I had no idea the severity of this situation. Hi, Liam. So I call my husband, and he's like, okay, I'm on my way. Like, I'm going to go, figure out what I got to figure out. What's up? And, hi, what's up? And, he was like, I'll be over there in a second. And he was like, what do they think? Do they think you're going to be out of the hospital today? Like, what are they looking at? And one of the other nurses had looked at me, and I said, how long are we going to be here, do you think? Or down, where we need to go. And she said, honey, you're going to be in the hospital indefinitely. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? She was like, you guys are in the hospital indefinitely. And I was like, okay. So thank you for subbing. So we do a CT scan. They're doing her labs. They're getting everything ready. They're, doing everything that they need to do. And finally they get the ambulance transport there. And all the nurses and the doctors start hugging me. And one of the nurses takes me and she like holds my arms and she goes, honey, I am so sorry. And I was like, why? Like I had no idea. So we get down to the hospital where we need to go for the pediatric specialists. And we're sitting there. And we started at 6:30 in the morning. We're down there. They have ophthalmology come in. They have neurology come in. They have every single doctor. And every single doctor that comes in to take a look at her, they're like, okay. Well, then a young doctor comes in. This guy, he's got to be, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30. I'm 40. So he looks like a baby. And he goes, I don't know. I don't think we're going to have like MRI come down. And no, it was not sinking in yet at all, Medell. So he goes, I don't think we're going to have MRI come down. He's like, if she can't sit still for a CT scan, you're going to have to do anesthesiology. And then, or get an anesthesiologist down here. They're going to have to put her out. It's not always the best. Like, it's just like, he just had this like lackadaisical approach. And I looked at him and I go, you don't want to call an MRI down here? And he goes, well, she's not going to be able to see through it. Sit through it. And he goes, those are anywhere between, 45 minutes beyond. And I go, okay, so then put her to sleep. And he goes, well, you don't, and I get it. Like, you don't always want to do that on a little kid, but he was making it seem like, it was just kind of an inconvenience. And I have such respect for doctors and nurses, but he was like trying to talk me out of an MRI. And I looked at him and I go, do you see her fucking face? And he goes, yeah. I go, okay, so we're on the same page. I said, I am not leaving this hospital until I have a clear picture of my daughter's brain. Because now we understand, like me and my husband understand that it's her brain. And I was like, I will not leave here. And he was like, okay. And I'm like, I have insurance. Do whatever it is that you need to do to figure out what's going on with my daughter. So they get an MRI, high dexterity. They get an MRI. And we have to wait until the next day. The next day, they have to give her another MRI, and then they have to give her a lumbar puncture. And they cannot figure out what it is. She's got this tiny little spot that's in the middle of her brain that's flaring up. And because it flares up, it presses on the optical nerve, and that's what makes her eye not work. It gives the lidoptosis, and then it comes over. So they diagnosed her with post-viral cranial third nerve palsy. So thank you, Liam. So they diagnosed her with that, and we had to figure out what the plan of action was going to be. So they had said, I think the only option that we have are steroids. We're going to have to see if we can give her steroids to shrink down that spot inside of her brain. It's really a guess. And I said, okay, is there any negative effects to her being on the steroids? And they said, no, you'll just have to taper them off, but there's no like negative, it's fine. And I said, that's fine. Do whatever you can here, the most you can here, and then we'll go home and we'll taper them off. So we were in the hospital for 8 days. When we left, she had zero function of her eye. And we had to put sunglasses on and then patch it, like her good eye, so that we could try to strengthen her weak eye. And that took us about a year. It took us, actually, you know what? I'll show you guys some pictures. I don't ever show people pictures of my kids, but it's hard to get an understanding of like what this looked like. So, and this was the first time. So, my daughter, and I could probably just zoom in so you can't see like her full face. Hold on. She woke up. Also, if you guys are going to be squeamish, just don't look. So this, here, let's see if I could do like this. Yeah, that's perfect. This is how my baby woke up. So she had absolutely zero function of her right eye. And then that was Monday. By Tuesday, she had lost every single function, and she was starting to rapidly lose vision the second day. So here's the second day of and the eye was completely gone. So then when she got out of the hospital and we went home, we had to patch her for a year, which I have to tell you, she was so good with. Okay, this is the first time to patch her, and I'll show you the picture of her face. Okay, so I had to patch her good eye, and then I had to tape up the lid on the second eye to like get it to stay up. That's my poor baby. Was she ever in any pain? No. Hi, Critical Moss. How are you? She was never in any pain until the second time. So we'll get there. But no, she was never in any pain. She had no idea until one time when we were at home and she saw herself in the mirror and she's like, Mom? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, why do I look like that? And I go, well, honey, that's what why we went to the hospital, and, we're going to figure this out. So anyways, because they diagnosed it a post-cranial third nerve palsy, they thought that what happened was she got sick, her body did something strange, and that look was a mood. She is a whole mood. She is in an entire mood. Whatever, it was supposed to be over. We nursed her eye back to health. We went to ophthalmology. We were between neurology and ophthalmology twice a month, just back and forth. I was just taking her, carting her back and forth. The specialty hospital is about 2 hours away, from where we're supposed to be. And then, so I have an autistic kid. I got to get him taken care of. I got to take her to ophthalmology all the time. I'm trying to figure what's going on with her. Whatever. We get her back to good. Last year, June 10th, the day before my birthday, June 10th. She was supposed to have her last ophthalmology appointment. And we didn't go because she had a fever. June 11th, no blood tests needed. June 11th, she is my birthday. So on my birthday at 2 a.m., she's puking. I was like catching puke into my hands in the middle of the morning. She's like, Mom, I don't feel good. Obviously. Okay. By June 19th, yes, it was Juneteenth. And we woke up and I'm like, something's not right. So I can tell in her face. I was like, something is not right. So I'm like, she's not feeling good. She's puking. I'm like, I got to take her down to the specialty hospital. I just take her down there. I take her into the ER. And because it was Juneteenth, all of the doctors that are normally there weren't. They were on like the holiday schedule. So they didn't check our like chart or anything. They're like, we know she has this, but I think it's just an ocular migraine, which is why you're here. And, you don't need to be here for that. And I'm going to send you home. And to this doctor, I had said, it was the head doctor that came down. And I said, I understand that you would think it's a headache. I said, but my daughter has been previously diagnosed with a cranial third nerve palsy. I said, I have an autistic son at home. I would not have accounted for him and then drove 2 hours if I thought that my daughter had a headache. I said I would have given her some Tylenol at home. I said, but I can't give her any Tylenol because I can't manage her vomiting. And I said, I can tell you that we had strengthened the eye so much that her right eye was actually bigger than her left eye. And she goes, but her eyes are symmetrical. And I said, that's the problem. I said, I can tell that the eyelid is coming down. And she goes, you know what? I'm going to send you home. And I stood up, and my friend was with me because I'm like, you're not sending me home. And my friend's like, there's nothing we can do. We have to go. She's like, I could see it in your face. She's like, just go home. She's like, if you need to take her to the emergency room by our house, we'll go. But I'm like, I was furious because I'm like, I understand that you're a doctor and I'm a mom, but I look at this child's face every single day. And I'm like, it just felt very much like she just wasn't trusting me, which I get, but I was just like, I was pissed. So anyways, they send us home. Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay, sorry. So yes, we have to be our own advocates with healthcare for sure. But yeah, so I get home. They had given her some meds in the hospital. They had given her some IVs. So through that night, she was okay. The next morning, Chad, have you subscribed yet? But the next morning we get up and she starts puking all over again. And I cannot manage her puking. So I call my pediatrician and I tell him what's going on. And he goes, what do you mean they sent you home? And I go, exactly. He goes, absolutely not. He goes, I'm going to call down to the hospital and whatever. So we go back down to the hospital. And by the time we get there, wouldn't you know it, her lid is now drooping. Wouldn't you know it? So, then they do the same thing. They give her an MRI. They find the same exact spot, same exact size, same exact condition. And I told the doctors, I said, is it a post-viral cranial third nerve palsy? And she said, no, because if it was post-viral, it would have been that one time. Those are kind of a one-off. And I said, what is it? And she goes, I don't know. And so we've been dealing with I don't know since 2023. So she has a spot in her brain that for some reason, when she gets sick with a certain illness, we've narrowed it down to what's called mycoplasma pneumoniae. And when she gets sick with these certain illnesses, this little spot flares up just enough to shut down her third nerve. So the third nerve is what raises your eyelid, and it's also what constricts your pupil, and it's also what controls your eye going across your face. Thank you, Carl. No, Square. No, she wasn't there. Well, and now the neurologist had said to me, she's like, you call us. If something happens, you call us. You will come into the emergency room. This will never happen to you again. So this year, we were like, okay, this happened in May of last year. May of the first year, June of the second year. Should have happened July of this year. Sure enough, the end of July, she wakes up at 5:30 in the morning screaming. And she's like, Mommy, I do not feel good. My eye hurts. My eye hurts. My eye hurts. And I said, okay, here we go. I already had a bag packed. And I tell her, I was like, you got to open your eye. And she opens her eyes and she just starts vomiting. But her eyes are in sync. Her eyes are working. So I call her neurologist and I said, what do I do? I said, because if I drive 2 hours, I was like, you're not sending me home. And she said, do me a favor. Take her to your local emergency room. I will call them. I will call them. I will tell them exactly what we need, exactly what we're looking for. But right now I need you to take her because she's constantly puking. She's too little. My daughter's 5 years old. She's 40 pounds. She's just a little tiny pocket baby. And they said, we need to get her fluids. We need to get her some Zofran. So take her there. If we need to transfer you, we will. So I take her over there. They give her an IV. They give her some meds. She's doing all right. And then everything's fine. They're like, yeah, we're just going to send you home. And we're just going to see how this goes. And nothing happened. So now we're in a place where we're like, okay, did she get the Mycoplasma pneumoniae again? And her body is understanding like how to fight it, because that's what your body does. Like, it takes on viruses and it starts to learn. Because if you look at the first time, they gave her steroids. Her eye did not work for a year. The second time they gave her steroids, her eye came back like that. We never had to patch her eye. The third time, she just gets violently ill. No issues with the eye at all. So we're like, is her body now like learning what's happening? And it's so funny because I was explaining this to an anesthesiologist, my neighbor. You have all the documents to show the doctors in case like, oh, I have everything, girl. I got everything. I got dates, I got times, I got symptoms, I got everything. And I take pictures. Let me tell you, if something happens with your kids, please take pictures. Because I will show doctors and they'll be like, oh, okay, so like her eye was a little off. And then I'll show them and they'll be like, oh my God. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I take pictures of everything. So they did an MRI in March, which was clear. I'm sorry, they did an MRI. So she had an MRI last year, June, which was not clear. She had an MRI in September, which was good. She had an MRI in March, which was good. So now we're back here. She's going to have an MRI. We're hoping it's good. And then we see oncology. And we're just going to have to figure out how we do this moving forward. Hopefully what they're going to tell us is that, unless there's a physical identifier, they don't need to see her anymore. Because, and that's the thing, I mean, even just to get her shots for school, this poor baby, like, she's so afraid of doctors now that it's so bad. It's so bad. I think that's what's happening, though. I think her body's adapting to what's happening. And so I also think because mycoplasma makes your body like do strange things, I guess. I don't know. That's what somebody told me. But they're wondering if maybe because the mycoplasma was in her body that for some reason they actually were searching high and low to see if she had an autoimmune disorder. So now here's the other thing. They are searching for, they did genetic testing on neurofibromatosis 1 and neurofibromatosis 2. I can't remember which one is which, but my son has all the identifiers for one of them. I believe it's neurofibromatosis 1. He has autism. He has what's called our cafe au lait spots. Well, recently it just showed up on my daughter's neck. She now has a cafe au lait spot. And I'm like, well, does that change things? I don't know. I know how scary brain stuff can be. I'm suffering brain damage for years. Oh, John. I hope things get better for you. So frustrating for you. You know what? It is and it isn't. It is every time we have to go back. I'll tell you, for the past 3 weeks, I've been such a bitch. Like, I've been so annoyed with myself just because I can feel the anticipation coming of the MRI. And we always try to make it a big deal for my daughter. So we go down, we're like, you're going to take a nap. We take her to get whatever dinner it is that she wants, whatever dessert it is that she wants. We get her a toy. We're like, we're going to try to make this the best experience for you ever. And I guess it's frustrating because she's doing really well. And you're just kind of always like, when's the other shoe going to drop? Like, is she, and all the time, like sometimes I'll look at her and I'll be like, show me your eyes. And she's like, and I'm like, okay. And I was like, how are you? Are you good? And she's like, I'm good, Mom. And I'm like, okay. Thank you. Yes. I hope they go smoothly as well. I hope that my daughter can just be done with this. I would like to be done with it too. Until, and if we're not, I mean, but until I'm going to talk to the doctor, and it's like, well, until she has because that if that little spot even grows a millimeter, it's on that nerve, it crushes that nerve, it stops her eye from moving. So we would know if there's any growth. The thing that I'm the most afraid of is that it grows and it continues to grow and there's nothing we can do because it's in the dead center of her brain. So that is, oh my God. My sister, who is 17 and in high school, just asked me, can you help me dress like I'm from the 80s or 90s? Girl. Does a bear shit in the woods? Like, can I help you? Of course. No, Mom, you show me your eyes. I know you as a mom, you are hoping for it just to be you. And I'll have to tell you, like, the whole time I'm like, so, oh no, she didn't. So I have to tell you, I was actually just having this conversation with my mother-in-law, and I said, we were talking about God and spirituality, and it was funny because I used to pray every night. I had open communication with God, and I was very spiritual, and I would just pray and, all the time. And I would, I don't know, I had this close connection. And then this happened to my daughter, and I was just so mad at God. I was just like, what are you doing? Why are we doing this? Why? And when I have to tell you, nothing humbles you more than sitting in the middle on the oncology floor of a fucking children's hospital. Oh my God. Oh my God. I remember sitting in the cafeteria, and there was a woman sitting next to me, and she was like, what are you in for? And I was telling her, and she's like, okay, like, that's awful. And I was like, well, what are you in for? And she was like, her son had a bunch of like medical issues, but they had done like a surgery wrong, and he had to get his spine washed or something like that. I don't know. But she was there for 150 days. She's like, I live here now. And I'm like, you know what? Could be worse. When I walked out of the hospital, I was just trying not to cry. I had my baby in my arms, and I'm just like, get out of this hospital. Because I wanted to just sob, because I was well, two things. I was scared because I was going home, because I don't know what, like, the safest place that I could be is this hospital, but I was also just so happy because they were releasing us to go home. I'll find you this picture. I had lost 2 inches of my hairline. I was so stressed. My hair just fell out. And I just remember, I'm like, don't cry. Don't you cry on your way out of this hospital, because I tell you, like, there are mothers who are not able to come home. There are mothers who are in here, and they're coming in here I'm like, just get to your car. And when I got to the car, I just like screamed. But there's like a guilt. I was able to leave the hospital with my baby, and I like felt bad about it. It was like a weird guilt. Say she's old. Telling other people being a parent goes way beyond than feeding them. Of course. The young ones say we were born in the 1900s. Sassy with less filter. That's my opinion, biche. Colon cancer, and I still remember sitting in the hospital room feeling out of place, and was very, I guess, religious then. Yeah, my God. Yes, I always tell people if they feel like they're having a bad day, they should go and spend time in a children's hospital lobby. It's awful. It's awful. These things are blessings. I've learned so much about life and love only because of my brain damage. Good comes. You're right, Bacon. It's going to be okay. Thank you. Yeah, I had a girlfriend go with me to my first oncology appointment, and she was like, I can't go with you ever again. She's like, I can't do that with you. And I'm like, I understand. I get it. I'm going to find this picture of you, or of you. I'm going to find this picture of you. I'm going to find this picture of me and show you when I got home. There's a picture that was taken of me here it is, as I walked in the door, and look at all of this hair in the front had just fallen out, completely out. And also off to the sides, like I'm still having issues with it, but oh my God. The second time, yo bitch was medicated, son. And I walked in there and it was so funny because I was so familiar with the hospital. And the other thing is too, is like, you adapt so quickly. It took me 2 days before I'm like, okay, I get up at 8 o'clock. I'm going to make our bed. I'm going to get her some breakfast. We're going to go play down in the play area. We're going to take a walk around the hospital. We're just going to do like all sorts of fun things, whatever. The second time I came, they're like, you are doing so well. And I'm like, I'm medicated this time, bitches. I'm ready to go. I was like in it. I was folding sheets, like folding blankets. Like it was our room. I knew I was staying there. I knew what the plan was. I had brought the proper clothes. I'm like, we're in it. I know what to do now. So like, I'm all ready. What are you doing in this live? We're just chatting. I have an MRI and an oncology appointment coming up for my daughter. So I was just telling them everybody why. There is a weird survivor's guilt type thing, but it doesn't minimize the risk, fear, and concern. Right. It doesn't ever minimize it, but it is a weird guilt. Next will be our teeth. What do you mean? Which we will be losing, right? I deliver chemo to kids' wards, and sometimes that really sends your head spinning. Yeah, it's awful. I don't know. It's horrific. And the thing is kids, you see them and like, they have no idea. Oh my God. Okay. I have to tell you. Okay. So we go down it's like our first full night in the hospital, the very first time. My daughter is 2 years old. She was going to be 3 that year. So she's like 2 years old. My daughter is tiny. Okay. She is, may God bless. So it's a long story. Long story short, she has a spot in her brain. We're trying to figure out what it is. Thank you. I appreciate it. They have no idea what it is. But anyway, so we go down to the play area. There's this kid there, and he is 10 times her size. And he's in a hospital gown. He's all hooked up to the I don't know if it was like a dialysis machine or what, but he's all hooked up to machines. And he comes up to my daughter and he goes, this kid's like 8, okay? He's 8. He comes up to my daughter and he goes, what are you in here for? And she's like, like she is so shy. So I said, well, if you can see her eye, I said, we're here for her eye. We're trying to figure out what's going on with it. He goes, cool. I've been here for a while. I'm going to be here for a while. And we're just like, just laughing. Me and my husband were like, oh yeah. And he's like, yeah, I just come down here every day, play the video games. And then I go back up and get my meds. And we're like, okay, like it's prison. And he walks up to my daughter and he goes, so your eye, huh? And she was like, yeah. And he goes, can I touch it? And his nurse that came down, because they'll send your kid down to the playroom with a nurse. She was like, oh my God, Franklin, don't ask if you could touch her eye. I was like, that is the best thing that could have ever happened to us right now. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Yeah. I will tell you guys, I'm not streaming on Wednesday because I'll be at the hospital. I won't have the time. If I can, I won't stream on Wednesday or Thursday. Maybe I'll stream on Friday. We'll see. We'll see, depending on how everything goes. But yeah. Yeah. Can I touch it? It was so funny, this kid. Oh my God. But they go and they have like they have pinball machines, and they have like coloring and games, and they have so much cool stuff. And we just go and you just hang out with your kid. I'll tell you, I had 2 friends who came to the hospital every single day the first time that we were there, and I thank God for them every day, because we would never have been able to get through with it. Like, they came to the hospital. They took my daughter down to the playroom. They played air hockey. They colored. They played dolls. And like, you just cannot play. You cannot be happy. You cannot play. You cannot do anything other than survive in that moment. And my friends that came down really gave us the grace to do that. And then the second time was much, much easier. Thanks, everyone. You guys are the best. Yeah. I'm doing pretty good. It's, you know what? It's the anticipation. I think by Wednesday I should be okay. But yeah, air hockey. I don't love air hockey as much as I love pinball, dude. Pinball is the shit, I gotta say. Big pinball fan. And coloring. Bro, I could color forever. So, yeah, that's what we're going through right now. But, so we went on our road trip on Friday. We got home yesterday at 8 o'clock at night. I struggled to get the kids up this morning for school. I am dragging, but I did go grocery shopping and I did get my workout in. So I had, what did I have? I had lats and like shoulder presses and stuff. So I have upper today, upper tomorrow. I'm off on Wednesday. And then I think lower on Thursday. But yeah. Pinball is also fun when I was just introduced to pinball recently. Really? Nah, pinball always disappoints. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. No, I totally understand that. But yeah. So we're just going to do what we got to do. Yay for grocery shopping and workout. Hey, man, I achieved a lot today. I'll keep you in my thoughts, and I hope it works out for you. Thank you, Ken. I appreciate that. Yeah, I also, too, like, being away this weekend, like, I was just so clear-headed and didn't think about it once. And then as we were, like, packing up to leave, I started getting anxiety and got in the car, and I was sobbing. My husband's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I think I'm going to throw up. And there was a girl at the well, I guess she would be my cousin. She's my husband's cousin, but she was at the thing, and she goes, do you think that some of your anxiety is based on like going back home to what you have to go to, and you've had such a good time? And I go, you know what? That's a great point. I actually, yeah, shit. But yeah, thank you. You guys are the best. What activities do I find? Oh my God, I just sucked in a whole bunch of spit. Actually, my YouTube stuff. I honestly, like, I'm doing my research on a story. So I'm going to do some Halloween themed stories for you guys for October. I'm working on one right now. And just that like clears my brain. You know, it's like, what do you find therapeutic? Murder? I don't fucking know. It's so weird. That's so weird. But yeah, like my research or watching documentaries or just keeping my mind busy. I also crochet. Like when I'm in there, I crocheted a full blanket for my friend's baby when I was the 8 days I was in there. Hydrate. I'm dying. Yeah. All those shots of bacon bits. All right, so if you guys don't know what Mr. Pike is talking about, there was a time where I used to do body painting on Twitch. And I don't remember what the stipulation was, but there was something that people could do to, and then I would take a shot of bacon bits. And then I had to stop because I was like, I think I'm going to go into cardiac arrest. Like, I don't think I should do this. Oh, no. Dude, my mother-in-law is here. My mother could whip up a blanket in like 8 hours. And like the most beautiful blanket you've ever seen. It's an anomaly. Ugh. Yeah, body painting was fun. I really loved that. It was a good time. We had a good time. But yeah, I like to crochet. I can only do simple stuff. She actually bought me a book that we were doing on stream. Maybe I'll do that sometimes. Maybe I'll crochet like squares or something. But it was like one square a week for a year. So it was like 52 squares. And that was really fun. I like doing that. And then I just started crocheting like just one giant granny square. And I would keep going, keep going, keep going. And I made it some... it was all the jugs. Yeah. And then we had jugs. I don't have any jugs with me today. All I have is this meat protein shake. I'm really trying, you guys. I think I've been consistently working out for like 18 weeks. I'm strength training. We have a tonal. If you guys don't know what a tonal is, it's like a screen that sits on your wall, and then you could bring the arms out, and how you manipulate the arms. It gives you like any machine like in the gym. So it's been really awesome. Are bacon bits alcoholic shots or literal bacon bits? Liam, they are literal bacon bits. They are little dried up pieces of bacon. So yeah, I was just eating preserved bacon in shot form. Tonal was fun, but I also don't know. Oh, it was called that. Yeah, no, the tonal is great. And I have this, I'm doing a thing called 12 Weeks to Jacked. Me and my husband are doing the same program, and our coach, his name is Joe Rodanis, and he is so amazing. I love him so much. Literal bacon bits. Speak normal, please. It's so terrific. Sorry. What? Okay? Rest and recovery is key. It is key. You know what's not key is the fact that I ate 4 buckets worth of nachos this week. I was like, well, if you're going to do it big. Where do you get the time and energy? Actually, it helps with my anxiety to do the weight training. Like, it sets my full day in motion. Even if I don't have the energy, I'm like, you got to go push weights, man. You got to do it. It just makes me feel amazing. I sleep better. I feel better. I act better. You know, some would say different, Liam. Some would say different. For sure. For sure. I'll tell you. I was embarrassed. And then I got to the end of the nachos, this plate of nachos, and I was like, my husband's like, oh, are you tapping out? And I'm like, I'm starting to breathe heavy. I couldn't do it anymore. I was sweating cheese. Top tier. Thanks. Appreciate it. Did anybody ever watch the Bad Girls Club? I remember there were 2 girls fighting, and one girl was like, appreciate it. And that's like, I just, every time I say appreciate it, that's all I have in my head. Appreciate it. I always thought I wanted to be on the Bad Girls Club. I was like, I want to be on the Bad Girls Club. My friend was like, no, you're not going on the Bad Girls Club. But anyways. But I don't like jalapenos, though. I really don't. I wish I did, and I just don't. Stop trying to make fetch happen. What are you doing? Yeah. But so that's tomorrow. Love jalapenos. Honestly, but not spicy enough for me. Dude, you're like my husband, man. My husband, it's not hot enough unless it like blows your butthole out. Like, he is just, I love a good spice that gives me like a little clam on the forehead. Like, I love a good buffalo sauce. Perfect. Makes me nice and sweaty. Puts a little on my breath. I love it. Love it. Yeah, we get it now. You're trying to troll me, so it's fine, Terex. We get it. Maybe you could be more creative and come up with something else. Creativity is accepted here. I don't mind getting roasted as long as people are creative with it. Dude, that one fucking guy in the chat who was like, tarot cards. That is a weird way to tell me that you didn't go to college. Was amazing. Amazing. Hi, Chansey. Yeah, if you're going to roast me, at least make it smart. This pickled one's from... I just don't like jalapenos in general. I grow them. I cook with them. I love them in a good salsa. But I just don't... I don't enjoy the taste. Well, they are AI. That's not true. AI is way more creative. Has more brain power. You want to know something, Liam? I've never tried curry. I really want to have... I need to find some friends. Permission to roast. Yes, please. Permission. All the permission to roast. Just make it good. If you can make me laugh, your roasts can stay. I want to find a friend who knows about Indian food and who would go and like help me kind of figure it out. Because I've always wanted to really try good Indian food and I never have. Nachos are not nachos without jalapenos. Wait, that's not vodka. Jalapenos with Tabasco and Doritos. I'm trying to think if I would like Tabasco and Doritos. I don't think so. We do not need burnt bacon. I love burnt bacon. Especially with rice. Yeah, I gotta have... I wonder... And I wanted to cook it too. But I gotta have somebody make it. Let's see, you're missing out big time. In the UK, it's basically a staple in our diet. Hi, Nene. Nene, Rose. Hi. Uzbek plav. What is that? Is that a food? Let me see what that is. I'm going to Google it. Let me see. Oh my God. That looks delicious. Wow. Hold on, I'll show you. Wait, no, that's my OBS. I don't want to show you that. Hold on. Let me get my screen up for you guys. Hold on. I'll show you guys what that is. Oh my God, that looks good. You know what it kind of looks like? Paella. Let me see. Look at that. That looks amazing. I want that. I want to go to the UK in general. Yeah, I've never been. This looks incredible. I wonder how they make it. Let me see. Hold on. Let's watch. You guys want to watch a YouTube video? Hold on. Let me see. Let's go here. Let's see. How to make videos. Oh, lamb pilaf videos. All right. All right. Now we're watching cooking.
Thanks, Tom.
I guess this is what we're doing today, friends.
Welcome to the Donimran Family Kitchen. In today's Eat Special video, we will show you how to make Uzbek pilau. Uzbek pilau is the national dish of Uzbekistan and is often made during large gatherings and
that looks
celebrations.
incredible.
Therefore, This is the perfect recipe to make for your loved ones during Eid or any celebration. So let's move on to the recipe now.
Yeah, I would have to figure out how to. Oh, chickpeas. Dang.
Be sure to follow us on Facebook and tag us on our Instagram.
Oh, I was like,
We
that's
try
it.
Out our recipes.
Let's see. Thank me. Thank you. Yes. Fresh cherries. So good. Fresh cherries are so good. And watermelon. Watermelon is delicious. But yeah, cherries might be my favorite fruit. I mean, I love all fruits. Oh, little red chili peppers. Yeah, I like strawberries, apples, oranges, bananas. The only thing I really don't like are like little berries, like blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries. Has almost absorbed. Gently turn the rice. What kind of rice is that? I didn't see what kind of rice it was. I survive off of watermelon during the summer. Yeah, watermelon's delicious. Okay, do you guys want to know my funny... Hold on, let's finish this. Level the rice again. Oh, keeping all that moisture in there. Smart.
Uzbek pilau is really simple to make and tastes amazing.
Yeah.
Especially when served with a yogurt dip and salad. You can
Ooh, and a yogurt dip. Oh, that's, oh my God. I want that. Anyways, let me tell you my watermelon story. So, let's see. I'm just trying to read chat. Okay, so one year I was making, one year, hold on a second. My sister's calling me. And if I don't answer, she'll call 65 more times. Hello, I am live. Dude, literally, she'll call me like an ex-boyfriend. Like, if I don't answer her, she will just keep calling. Here, biryani. Biryani. Is that how you say it? I'm trying to dress it up. God damn it, it looks so good.
Pandya, the chef owner at Dhamaka of Unapologetic Foods in New York City. And today we are at Dhamaka Kitchen trying to make the perfect version of biryani that we believe it is.
Biryani.
I'm based out of New York City. We have a bunch of Indian restaurants. Every restaurant focuses on different part of India. We are making a biryani today, and one of the cooking process in finalizing the biryani is called the dum cooking. This means the cooking in its own steam. Biryani is basically a dish where you have a protein, chicken, goat, lamb, you can have beef, and then you have rice. So it's a layer of these things mixed together and you have it. My mouth is watering right now, actually.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
So I think the first and foremost process that we want to start with is frying the onions. This is the fried onion, which goes more like a layered thing. It's a garnish kind of a thing. In a subcontinent cooking, it's always red onions. And it's got a very strong
smell.
It's got a very stronger taste than a white
Leave
onion.
me alone, I'm starving.
This thin. When I fry it, it fries at 325. It will fry evenly on. If it's thicker, it will get a golden brown color on the outside, but the inside would still be a little raw. To get the even frying, we need to cut it thin. You have to stand there and see how it fries, and once it's golden brown, you take it out. That is Chef Vijay. He works with us. His passion in life is to cook the best possible biryani in this world.
And does he do it?
Not better than me. We are looking for this crispiness, little golden brown color, not too dark, not too light. But if you see this one, it's totally done.
I love a little good
So we're
crunchy
just gonna chop up
onion.
little of these tomatoes. This is for the curry that we are cooking.
Well, he said
So
it doesn't
this is
just
the
have to
base
be
of the
goat.
chicken
It could be
biryani.
all sorts
To
of
get a
stuff. He
little
said it
bit
could
of
just, it's
sourness
whatever
and
protein.
also for the liquid, we need some diced onions. I prefer my biryani to be a little bit spicy, so I add a little bit more slivers of green chilies into it. So I'm slicing it longer like this because with this, somebody who doesn't want it can just take it off the thing, and I think this imparts a better flavor in the biryani than the, the round ones. So we have everything prepped over here nearly for our biryani. We need to do a very important step now, which is wash our rice and soak it. And by that time, we start doing other things over here.
Wash your rice. Chicken
So what
curry.
Vijay is doing here, Chef Vijay is doing...
All right. Listen, I have to go now. I'm very hungry. Let me tell you about my watermelons. Better late than never. Hello. That's all right. I got to get off soon anyways. I have to catch up. I have to unpack. I have to do laundry. But I have to be on for Monday. So I was growing watermelons, and I got a cute little watermelon out of my garden, and I came in and I cut it up. And my daughter was like, "Mom, I need water. I need water. This watermelon is hot." And I go, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "Mom, the watermelon is so hot." And I'm like, "Okay, it's watermelon." And she's like, "No, it's so hot." And I was like, "Okay." And she's like, "Mom, please try it." So I tried it. The piece of watermelon that I tried was so incredibly spicy. And I'm like, what? So I'm like, I'm like, is it bad? Is it like, what is the deal? No. I had planted my watermelons next to my habaneros, and they like cross pollinated. So, yeah. So I had about 10 watermelons that were spicy. I would cut them up and put on like some tahini and a little bit of salt. When I tell you my neighbors ate it up. Your bitch made some Mexican watermelons. It's the wildest thing I've ever had happen in my life. It was a great mistake. Oh my God. Wait, I didn't show you guys. I got to show you guys. Okay, before I go, I was going to put this in the Discord, but hold on. Market those. You'll be famous. Hold on. I have to show you guys. Wait. And then I'll go. Okay. Hold on. I did that with my tomatoes and peppers. Yeah, I've never done anything like that. Hold on. Where is it? I am an inventor. Okay, so here's my harvest of green onions that just came from my garden. And then here is my harvest of my kale. I'll put these in the Discord. That's my kale. So, if you're allowed to join Discord if you're a member, a YouTube member. That's how we do it. But yes, bacon is an inventor. It was the best mistake. They were so good. Yeah, they were huge. My husband's like, hey, maybe you might want to, do a different variety next year. And I'm like, honey, that was 4 little plastic pots of onions. It cost me $1. $1. So, anyways. But I like kale. I like kale chips. Talk about having a green thumb. You know what? Me and my daughter, we talk to our plants as we're planting them. And we're like, come on, little babies. You can do great. I don't know. Just saying. They do great. But only outside. If you bring me a plant inside, I will indeed kill it. Promise. Trust and believe. If it is in a pot in my house, murder. Anyways, you guys are the best. I have to go. My end screen is going to have no sound because apparently they said that I could use that song, but I can't because no, I don't grow my own garlic. My neighbors do though. I also talk to my animals. But anyways, then they said that I couldn't use that song. So I don't know what happened, but yes, you guys are the best. And I will see you. I'll see you when I see you. It won't be Wednesday, but I'll see you when I see you. Okay, bye, guys.